What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. We're talking today about the real cost of doing business in 2020. I definitely want to clarify, I do a ton of videos on this channel. If you've seen, I've done several years. And if you happen to be here, you're new, hey, drop your city and state in the comments. I love seeing where you guys come from. But also, I know I'm running ads in several different cities and states. And so I may be surprised wherever I get seen. So just to give you a little bit of who I am, I'm Erica Williams, author of the Classy Climb Planner. You can grab that on Amazon. I'm also the author of a couple books, but this is one I hold up the most often. Smartphone Millionaire, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. I definitely want to clarify, why would I listen to you? Who are you? So long story short, I come from a military and cop family who are long-term traditional farmers and real estate owners in the state of North Carolina and South Carolina, and also Missouri, the state of Missouri. Our family have been long-term holders of real estate in different cities and cheap properties in multiple cities. On top of that, I'm here in Austin, Texas. I've been here for several years. I've worked in 5 years in apartment management, more closer to like 7 years, but 5 years here in the state of Texas. On top of that, I've actually mentored directly with two people here who are absolutely multimillionaires in the state of Texas, right here in Austin City. If I actually tag their YouTube channel, one of them, you would know who I'm talking about. He actually owns over 500 properties, has 140 notes, and is a long-term sophisticated investor. The other people that I consider amazing mentors in my life are my family. My first, second, and third job were jobs my family created. I always want to be very clear here that I came to Texas, the shirt on my back per se, as in starting fresh, because our family are big believers in, if you leave the state of North Carolina or South Carolina, you will start on your own with the money in your pocket and the shirt on your back. And if you've watched this channel, you've watched me over the past couple years grow to be a millionaire, from literally delivering pizzas in 100-degree Texas sun, working multiple jobs, working and investing in multiple businesses. I want you to understand that I'm not someone just pulling numbers from my butt. I've never been that person. I will never be that person. Okay? Do I have money falling out the sky? No, not always. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Okay? So what's the real cost of doing business in 2020? I really want to get to talk to you guys about this because, last night I did a late night video, and you see me with this office here. There's three offices in this front right here for my manager over one of the trucking companies, actually over two of them. There's a second office here that we're actually had to move the stuff out of to cut a door to go to our second office. What will be in our second office? Our second office will have a YouTube manager, a marketing manager, a news person, and also 2 or 3 other people who are creatives in filming and industry. Why am I sharing this with you? Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you so you know that this is who I am. This is who I truly am. And this is part of like long-term future of what I talk about. I don't just talk about it, I actually be about it, right? Now, I want to clarify yesterday, many of you hopped on me and there's no reason, that's okay. I expect that in a lot of these. Hey, Erica, wait, you said real estate isn't gonna go down. You said this isn't gonna close. You said this, listen, Graham Stephan did a great video today and he said, the market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. Let me say that again. The market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. What does that mean? Something I learned from my family a long time ago is, and honestly, I'll just kick it right into it. Right now we have a marketplace where, let's be very clear, 30 to 40% of the real estate that you live in, or you would rent an apartment or a duplex or a single family house, is a mom and pop business. Mom and pop saying maybe they own 1 to 10 units. That's right. They're classified as a mom and pop because they own 1 to 10 units. Okay. That's just 30, 40% of the market. The other 60 to 70% of the marketplace are people who own over that number and large major corporations. You guys may be familiar with this name. It's called Blackstone. They bought in one swoop 10,000 houses in the last crash. Now, I said something and people got on me when I said rents won't go down. Now, I've been in apartment management for several years, 7+ if you add up the different locations, and also with my family generationally. When I tell you that rents won't go down, I don't mean, across the whole market. I don't mean in Kansas City, in Augusta, Georgia, in nowhere towns in Florida. I don't mean that. I mean as a business strategy. Real estate 101. It's better to have an empty property than a bad tenant. An empty property than a bad tenant. Let me say that again. An empty property than a bad tenant. Now, part of who's going to be over in the second office, and you guys don't see this so often, is a real estate person. It's actually two guys that are essentially what they'll be doing every single day is reaching out via Facebook Marketplace, via mailing, via phone calls, people who are owners, and people who own businesses. They're doing two different things. And the people in my class, Rise of 20%, will get more details on this pretty soon. Why are we doing that? Because 80% of the mom and pops out there that people are so concerned about in this economy, business owners and landowners are debt free. They aren't leveraged to the cities. They just aren't, right? And when I talk about rents not going down, now hear me out. Hear me out. There's a thing with the books that people do called occupancy rates. There's a thing called pride. There's a lot of things called cost of doing business, cost of materials, cost of labor. Okay, cost of labor. Now, people have been saying there's unemployment all over the Erica. The unemployment's through the roof. How can they not lower rents? Because if you know, like I know, and if you've grown up in a family that actually has real estate, you will drive by your real estate, even in the recession we just had 10 years ago, and there will be multiple cars parked at the house, and rent will be paid on time, and you'll go, what is going on over there? This is a very common thing. You can actually take your day right now and use all day today and Google several real estate companies who will tell you how they complain about unaccounted for people on the lease. Let me say that again. You can Google this all day long. You can check this for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Okay? It's called unaccounted for people on the lease. Why is this such a big thing? If you have criminals, if you have child molesters, if you have undocumented people on the lease and something happens, a fire happened, insurance company requests, how many people are living at this apartment, at this house? It's an issue. But overall, what happens, like most recessions, and even this one and even the Great Depression, people started having boarding houses. They started having multiple people in a house moved in, right? Dogs Company, and this is DAWGS, you can go look this company up for yourself. They make millions, if not billions, putting cages on houses because the owner rather have an empty house than a bad tenant. They rather have an empty house than a low-paying tenant. It's called the cost of doing business. It's called the cost of labor. Now, many people say, well, Erica, what about those dollar houses in Gary, Indiana? What about those dollar houses in Detroit? What about those dollar houses in Baltimore? What about the dollar houses in Italy? What about the dollar houses in Japan? What about the dollar houses in parts of countries that people are selling houses for $1, Erica? That's right. They are selling houses for $1. But you can go also spend your day today Googling. What is the problem with the empty houses in Japan? You have this massive elderly population that is dying and passing away. You have these houses in the middle of the field, hour from big cities. Everybody should be able to get these cheap houses for $1. Well, here's the thing. It's called the cost of business. It's called the cost of labor. It's called the cost of building things. Go look this up. Don't take my word for it. I've had military cousins live in Japan, but my grandparents lived in Japan for 7 years. Not just because the military had them there. They both were in the military, but my uncle was born there and my father was born there. They have dual citizenship. Okay. My father has passed on. You guys knew that. If you watch this channel, my father has been dead since my senior year in college. But the holdup that is in those properties that are $1 in Italy is they need massive repair, and they want you to pay lots of taxes, and they want you to live there. Same in Japan. Yeah, it's $1, but you're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes. You're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in repair. If not, if you're lucky, maybe just $20,000 in repair. Maybe you just repair it. But there is a cost of material and supplies. Right now, you can go look this up. You do not have to take my word. It is called shadow inventory. It is where banks are holding on to homes from last recession, which was what? Over 10 years ago, in the number of, I think, 40 to 50,000 just in certain states alone on the West Coast. Many people will say, well, Erica, why don't these banks just offload this shadow inventory? It will cause the market to crash. It'll cause these houses to be cheaper. They rather burn those houses to the ground than sell them for lower than what they wrote on the books. Now, here's the game the bank's playing. Here's the game the insurance company's playing. They will keep those houses for 20 years. It'll be a brand new house sitting completely empty for 20 years. If you don't believe me, go look up in Las Vegas. Go look up in parts of Florida. Go look up in parts of Hawaii where they have half-built abandoned houses and fully completed abandoned houses. See, they're not abandoned because people don't want to live there. They're sitting that way because the banks are going to hold them and depreciate them for the next 10 years. Okay. So when I talk about this thing, I'm not just pulling this from my butt. This is our economy and our system. Now, many people say, well, Erica, if they want some money, they better sell that house for more. They better stop playing hardball and sell those houses. Let me tell you something. I've spoke over the past 90 days, and you guys have seen me probably extremely stressed and run around like crazy because I have new staff coming in and new things moving on, and we'll go on that another day. But I've talked to over 92 at this point business owners who are completely debt-free in the Central Texas place. And guess what? They're all 60 to 70 years old. And guess what? They won't sell if they don't have to. Now, hear me out. You say, well, what about Rona? Are they interested in selling now because of Rona? Listen to me. If you own a business, and even if that business is limping along, I mean, I'm talking about dragging its left leg, crawling on the ground, if the building is paid off, if the land is paid off, if all they're worried about is taxes, they will limp for years. I've spoke to multiple business owners who will show me their books and show me where they limp for 4, 5, 6 years. Now, why is that? Cost of doing business, pride, labor cost. They're not going to liquidate a business for pennies on the dollar because you think they should. Again, I'll even talk to you about trucks. You know, how many of you ask me about trucks? Right now, there are semi-trucks for sale on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, you name it, wherever, going for $25,000. Let's do the numbers, $16,000 to $25,000. Maybe people say, man, that's a steal, man. That's like an auction price. That's amazing. All I need to have is $16,000 to $25,000 and I'm winning. Now you'll go look on these. Go look at them. And you'll see trucks from 2005, trucks from 2009, old trucks. Now listen, in that, me and my mechanic went around calling all these people, visiting multiple truck stops, going and looking at these trucks, visiting, just seeing if they're worth purchasing. We did this for 4 weeks. And I will tell you, guess what they do? The cost of labor, the cost of what they put into the trucks is what they're thinking of. These men rather sit on old, half ran into the ground trucks and try to charge you $20K than sell it for what you think is a reasonable price. Oh, you think it's worth $12K? I will not accept that, Miss Williams. You know what I will do? I'll put a driver in it that needs to work and needs money in his pocket, and I will keep driving that truck. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because everyone has this concept of that, hey, because I think it should be cheap, it should be. And again, I'll say this again, like I said in the beginning of the show, the market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. So all these people that have closed businesses, and my friend and I made a joke, we went and got some food. I'm not going to name the restaurant because I really love them. And we got some food. The food was fresh, but we had some fried cheese and some fried something else. And it tasted old. It tasted like some old food. We immediately stopped eating. We're like, this must have been the old food from 3 months ago they had to get rid of today. There is a cost of doing business. There is a cost of replenishing your supplies and stocking your store. I drove by 2 or 3 Asian restaurants that do ramen, and there were trucks unloading food. And it didn't seem cheap. It was at least 40 boxes of stuff they were unloading. And I thought, man, I bet that cost them a pretty penny. But here's the kicker. The average person in America, makes somewhere around $3,000 a month. So why are the stimulus videos so popular? Because the thought of, man, if I get $2,000 a month, maybe we can just tighten our belt a little more, honey. Maybe if we just go and get some part-time jobs, we can still make it. Maybe if I hustle a little bit or sell a few of the items in our house, we're still going to get by. It's called hope for sure. No, it's not you. Trust me, it's not you, Doug. It's. I got a lot of messages all week long where people think I'm wrong, but who cares? And why am I bringing this up? Part of why people are like, Erica, people aren't going to go back to work. They're scared. They're terrified. True. They are scared. They are terrified. You cannot build company culture at your house. Let me say that again. You cannot build company culture at your house. People are very one-dimensional. When they're home, they're home. Their feet are up, ESPN is on. I don't care if it's replays. They're home with their family and children. You could give them an office. They could have a separate bedroom off to the right of their house, and they go in there and they study and they do all this. They're home. You can't build company culture with people being at home. Listen, I've tried it. We've tried. We have VAs. We have about 4 VAs at this point. We have 2 people working remotely, and they're very diligent workers, really good workers. But all the people that are going to be in the second office, they're coming into work at least 3 times a week. You can't build company culture at your house. Okay? Sarah and Jesse and Becky and whoever sitting at home in their pajamas are not giving you 100% of the work they will give you if they're at the office. Now, let's be honest. Even when employees are in these mega offices, they're goofing off half the day. They're on Facebook. They texting their baby mama. They texting their baby daddy. They're doing other silly mess. But you build company culture in the office. And a lot of people right now are frustrated being home. They're exhausted. You ever heard the thing, when you tell your loved one, I need to miss you. Ooh, you got somewhere to go this weekend because I need to miss you. You ever heard people say that? It's the old saying. And that's what's happening right now. Many couples are like, woo, I need to miss you. Where you need to be. See, the fear, the major fear, the 90% of that fear we were all experiencing several weeks ago is subsided. Many people are looking around out their neighbors' doors and like, well, Bob goes to Home Depot every day. He go to Lowe's every week, and he's not sick. I'm getting out of this house. Now, you may say, Erica, how dare you? How dare you talk about this like it's not serious? Listen, trust me, this is serious. But you have an overwhelming number of nurses saying they're at hospitals that are empty. You have an overwhelming number of people saying, hey, this is bad, but it's not as bad as they're pointing it out to be. You have people, well, again, if you go back and look at my videos, I talked about Sweden. Let's be like Sweden. Any other time Sweden's doing some socialist crap, everybody's like, yeah, Sweden. But now when you talk about numbers, true, real numbers of how Sweden's been just going about their business like, hey, everybody wear masks, wash your hands. Like it ain't no problem. And they haven't suffered. Now, Grant Cardone did a video the other day where he said, rest in peace, America, if we don't get back to work. There's a picture where it says you can make men slaves by force or by giving them everything. Now, of course, in this picture, it had a picture of slavery. Of course, you had a picture of men sitting at home in welfare. We will always have a 47% of our society that will more than likely feel great about someone taking care of them. Tell me where to go. Tell me what to do. I have a driver right now that's a company driver. Now, what do I mean he's a company driver? He's not an independent free thinker, fix something on the fly, take care of it if I need to. He's more of like, well, I parked the truck because I don't know, it made a noise. I don't know. Call somebody. I don't know. He's more of the guy that like, yeah, I was late, but I was only 5 minutes late. Yeah, I'm just making sure if I can get an advance. No, you can't get an advance. Is he doing anything wrong? No, he's not doing anything exactly wrong, but he's that 40% of America that's, hey, I showed up, give me a check. I showed up today, can I get a check? I did the job basically, can I get a check? And you'll see the crash more in cars than you'll see it in real estate. Now, what do I mean? Right now, you still got people on the internet trying to sell you a car for $3,000. That's a 1999 Honda. Stop it. Right? And you'll see people trying to sell you a 20-year-old Jeep for 12 grand. Stop it. But what you're going to see here is you have 6 months no payments on Toyota trucks right now across the nation with 84 months. 84 months is 7 years. What it tells you is the willingness of Americans to piecemeal something together for a long term. They'd rather piece it. Now, let me get a little bit back to what I was originally talking about. So right now, 80% of the land, if anybody here, put a 1 in the comments if you ever heard of land flipping. Put a 1 in the comments if you ever heard of land flipping. And I'll talk more about this inside the Rise of the 20% Clubbers, but land flipping. 80% of the landowners in this country have no debt on their land. Why? Because naked, vacant land, it's hard to put loans on. Sometimes people inherit their grandma's house and it's almost ready to fall into the ground. So they just demolish the house, take it away. And, it's just an empty lot. Now you may see people selling it for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000, $500,000. Here in Texas, you had a lot of people selling land by Lakeway for $1 million. Then it came down to $500,000. Then it came down to $300,000. And I'm talking about for 1 acre. Okay. And people will say, well, see, the prices went down. See, the prices, they went down. Yeah, the prices went down because it's empty, naked land. They don't own anything on it. They don't have any debt on it. They're just making up a number. What you see in the South and a lot of places, in prime example, I'll use my family again. You'll see stuff in Craigslist all the time or online, little red sign in the yard said for sale by owner. It'll be just a little 1 to 2 acres. Hey, I want just $20K for it. Yeah, we ain't gonna give you $20K. Can we give you $10K? Nah, I'll just sit on it. I'll just keep paying $500 a year in taxes because you know what? I can do that. See, many people believe that everybody's leveraged to the gills, but the numbers don't support that. 80% of people who own land is completely debt free. So what you'll see here on YouTube, and you don't have to take my word again, please go Google this, research this for yourself. What I'm learning is people don't research. Someone tells them something, they believe it. Go research this for yourself. Majority of the landowners, no debt on the land. So if you come and you insult them, I don't have to sell to you. I can hold it. Now, prime example, near and around Dallas. And this place is I'd say a solid 45 minutes outside of Dallas. It's even 30 minutes outside of Fort Worth, honestly. There was some land for $2,000. I was like, ooh, it's an acre for $2,000. Now I drive over there and I said, I'm so excited. Let me go see this land. I took a time out of my day because listen, I live in Austin. Dallas is a 3-hour ride. This place was 3 hours and 30-minute ride. It was for real. So I go up there and I'm like, let me see this land. So he's like, well, are you here? A lot of people come out here and they ain't excited to see it. So, I guess I'll show it to you. I'm like, yeah, let's show it to me. We get over there and I see this acre of land and it's basically beside a trailer park. And then on the other side of the street, a bunch of other trailers. Here's what I knew. I said, well, Erica, what you can do is put a trailer over here. You're not going to put a brand new trailer over here. You're going to put a medium to use trailer over here because this is where someone will live who's comfortable and looking for $500 rent. $500, $700 rent. This man was saying, don't lowball me. I said, well, I'm not going to lowball you. Don't lowball me. People always want to lowball me. I'm offering it for $3 grand. It's nothing. I said, well, can I get it for $2,500? I got to go find a trailer to put on it. And he was cool with that. Now, why am I telling you that story? A lot of people have land that's placed in positions and places where it's, they can sit, they can wait, or they can turn it into money producing. Prime example, there's a place out here an hour outside of Austin, and it's about less than 9 acres. It's about close to 7 acres. And he had people come and offer, hey man, let me buy this land for me. Let me buy this land, man. Nope. They offered him too low. Guess what he did? He got a backhoe and a tractor. He drew a circle around it, or more like an oval. Okay. And then he drew lines and cut the top of the grass off. And everybody said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to make it an RV park or a trailer park. So because people kept lowballing him offers for his it's like 7.5 acres. He's like, well, I could just put about 10 to 20. I think he can get 20 if he squeezes it tight. Trailers out here, and all those people paying $500 a pop. And then I can just get me 9 to 10K a month, and that'll be a good retirement. Yeah, I think so. Now this man's house is like a little bit over another acre or two. If you go code that way, acre or two over. Think about how many people are willing to move in a brand new, not fully maxed out trailer park where they can be what? The new kid on the block. They can put their new trailer over there. They can pay their $500 rent and be excited about it. People think I'm joking. But there's this gap between the $500 rent folks and the $2,000 a month folks. And about 1,000, there's a wiggle room of 600 to 1,000. Every time I go on Facebook, I see someone making a joke or something goes viral. It's like, bring back $800 rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And I laugh because people really are like, bring back rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath to $800 a month. Because they're remembering the feel-good 90s. And yes, there will be some landlord or two that will do it, but guess what? Most won't. Because the average working guy or gal is making enough for them to get that $1,000 out of it. Why is that important? Because rule 101, it's better to have an empty house than a bad tenant. Right now in Dallas, people are still mad because the average property is getting anywhere from 20 to 50 applicants per when it comes open. This is in even Rona. This is during Rona, 20 to 50 applicants. One of my office staff was applying to a house. It was only him and 3 other people applying. Guess what? They all had to pay $400 down in application fees. Non-refundable. So now, not only did that landowner and house owner get $1,200 in his pocket, he probably already knew he was going to pick one of my people on my staff. And they had to pay 1 month's deposit. Okay, so $400. Okay, application fees, background check fees, whatever BS he told him. Then he's gonna get 1 month of $1,800. $1,800 first month rent. Okay, come on. Even if he gives them half off, moving half of the, 15th of the month, that's still a win. That's still a bonus. In Dallas, if people are getting 20 to 50 people paying $100 application fee, think about this. 20 people paying a $100 application fee. Let's all do the math together. That's $2,000 that homeowner made in reviewing your application. And I'm saying 100, and that's a low end. The average is like $200+ for houses. On apartments, it's closer to $89. A big thing apartments do to try to get people in is no application fees. But what did I tell y'all before? And what did I mean? People don't want to live in apartments. People want to live in homes. That's all it is. People want to live in homes. Why? Because homes give you more space, give you the backyard, give you the shed in the back. You can have a dog without paying a dog fee. All the reason. Listen, you don't want to share walls. Have you ever been in an apartment where there's kids running around and the noise is loud? People don't want to share walls. That's all. People don't want to share walls. Now, apartments suck. The material they're building out is cheap. So you'll see apartments that have like right now, I can tell you right now, if I pick this phone up and I call around at least 7 other people I know who are still in the apartment industry where they are right now, a bunch of them will tell me their occupancy rates are 75%. If that. 75, 60%. I used to think an apartment complex will fight tooth and nail to have 100% occupancy. This is not true. It's not true. In 7 years, they will not. They will get all kind of write-offs. They'll do all kind of stuff. But the bulk of people who, right now, I can tell you right now, I can't name the place, but off of 620 in Austin, Texas, you can look this up for yourself. There is a 500-unit place, and the family that owns it could care less. They pour a lot of money in making it look pretty. painting it, new doors, painting it, painting the units. And you go, oh man, that's such a waste of money. No, no, no. They know people, if they get in there, and there's certain type of people that really love apartments, they'll live in there 3, 4, 5 years. I know a married couple right now who's been saving for 3 years. 3 years to buy a house. I remember when I worked over off 620 Steiner Ranch. Listen, don't be telling my business. Nah. But you close. Not that far. Not Steiner Ranch. Not all the way in the Steiner Ranch area. Closer on the other part of 620. Closer to the Torchies. And that's close to Agidi. There were couples who were living there for 10 years. Now, why were they living over there off 620 for 10 years in this apartment complex that's had multiple owners who are making a killing off a 500-unit place? Because they were living, and we are going to say it, thank you, Black Heights, Steiner Ranch, the schools, the community, the positioning. Over there is where the wealthy homes are. That couple was living in there with their 4 kids for 10 years because their kids got to go to the best schools in the city of Austin. Really almost close to Cedar Park, but city of Austin. The wealthy school, the great teacher schools. Well, how much do houses cost over there? $500,000. That's the low end. I mean, I remember I looked at this house that was like this big, $400,000. So that couple is going to pay $2,000 plus dollars. Well, actually, it was $2,300 because they had a garage. $2,300 a month, which comes out to $24,000 a year plus to stay in an apartment, which really was like our biggest unit, 3-bedroom unit in a nice area, because that's as close as they'll ever get. That's as close as they'll ever get to living over there. They'll never be able to afford a house. Even if you made those houses $300,000, they would not be able to afford those houses. Even if you made those houses $200,000, they would not be able to afford those houses. Even if you made those houses $150,000, listen to me. I know people think if we just lower the cost of houses, people will buy. Look at Cleveland, Ohio. Half the city's renters. And those houses are $37,000, $40,000, $50,000. Look at Detroit. Half the city is renters. Look at Augusta, Georgia. Houses going for $25,000. I can go on Facebook Marketplace right now, baby. A house with nothing wrong with it. It's not the price of the house. It is the money management of the people. It is the jobs of the people. It is the mindset of, well, we can always go cheaper. If we buy a house, if we have to save up our money to buy a house, there's no way we'll be able to save $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for our down payment. Why am I bringing this up? There's this hope in our society that everything will be $50,000 off. Everything will be 50%. It'll be a fire sale of enormous proportions. The way the Fed is going, they rather have hyperinflation than you guys have deflation. And again, today is May 15th. Like I said yesterday, May 14th. Quote me about football. Quote me about all of it. The cost of labor. Sure, you can get $1,000 home in Detroit. You're gonna put $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 into it. Sure, you can get $1 home in foreclosure off the list in Virginia. You're gonna put $50,000 into it. Sure, you can get $1 home in Marietta and Augusta. You're gonna put $20,000 into it. There's a thing called the cost of doing business, cost of materials, cost of labor. Now, can these new construction places, lower prices? For sure. Are they going to lower it low enough for Pookie and Ray Ray to live? No. Not that. No, never that. Listen, I have a couple friends, and we've been trying to buy Airbnbs in Midtown Atlanta for a long time. Okay. And also trying to buy some stuff in Augusta, Georgia, because we have somebody who can do the work there, and then somewhere near Florida. But what I've learned over the years, is they'll hold that thing till it screams. They'll be like, I'd rather it sit empty. for years. I mean, I went and saw a property. You guys remember when I was in Atlanta for the Earn Your Leisure event? We went and saw a place in Atlanta. It had dust. Like, I'm talking about, take your hand, put a glove on, rub it across the counter, dust in it. Dust in it. Beautiful, finished, been finished for 2 years. Dust in it. And you're sitting there talking to the guy like, come on, man, let this be free. Give us a good discount. Come on, man. And he looked at us like we were crazy. Yeah, I don't care. I'll keep holding it. I will keep holding it. And people underestimate the ability of people to be irrational longer they can be solvent. Now, the stock market, people always talk about the stock market's not real, it's fake. Listen, the stock market has 8,000 companies on it in comparison to 30 plus million companies out here in the world, okay, in the United States. And what people have to understand is there's people, and you know, I've had Terry on, I've had other stock people on. I bought Todd Milley's options course. I bought all these things. Listen, I really invest in myself. I'm not joking. There are people that will move $1 a day in stock. Go look at Ricky Gutierrez. Look at all these people. There's a reason I made a separate stocks challenge channel where I'm just showing you where I did something for, you know, a couple weeks, just testing out a theory. There are people who will, the next 3 years, no matter how crazy, the stock market will be doing this. And they will, for the next 3 years, invest in stocks that move $1 a day over and 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 over for the next 3 years. And they will still make lots of money. This is why people are so drawn to it. Yes, I would call it rich sinking, but this is what they'll do. There are people that will play with Tesla forever. Every time you do something crazy on news, they'll be over there. Go look at Earnings Whisper on Twitter. Go look at a lot of these things. I'm not making this up. You can see it for yourself. But just like my mentor, he has 16-year-old sons. They actually do the stock market. Like, they're actual themselves, not their dad, not their mom, themselves. They actually learn and listen and do it daily. And I was like, man, these 16-year-olds are learning the stock market and daily performing in it, while there's other 16-year-olds who can barely read and barely do math and barely log into their school training right now. We will have a gap of major proportions, and there will always be a population of people who are looking for 450 rent and hoping everybody else is too. And unfortunately, that's not the truth of our society. If those twin boys, if they don't do nothing but make $2,000 a month, it doesn't matter. Their father has a house so massive here in Austin, they live in the pool. They can go live in the pool house. It's really the guest garage thing, pool house. But I've seen this all over the place. And you may say, well, Erica, that's the circle you float in. That's the community you participate in. Of course, you're seeing that, and we're not. Listen to me. Pay attention. Look how many people left New York when they claimed it was going to be a lockdown. And look who was left behind. Not enough money to leave and not enough money really to stay. So I get it. I remember talking to somebody about a house down here being $1,800. They can come rent and it'd be great. And they can move from New York. And you know what his comment was? Well, I can go move to the Bronx, or I can move to Brooklyn, or I can move to something, Queens. What do y'all call that? Jamaica, Queens, or whatever. And I can pay this for an apartment. I said, look, you just showed me a 2-bedroom apartment. I just showed you a whole house with almost 3,000 square feet here in Texas. You can rent for the same price. You tell me. You know what I mean? Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I talking about this? I am training under someone who has about 140 notes. He has 500 other properties. You know, he decided he needed some cash, so he's selling 4 of his properties off of Arboretum. If anybody knows who that is, let me know if you know where Arboretum is. I have a grandfather who lives in Chicago, and I try so hard for not to get the information out because he doesn't live by himself, but trust me, he's a shooter too. Don't play with him. He has over 22 rentals in Chicago. And every, you know, in this last couple of years, you know, he's in his late 70s. In these last couple of years, he said, you know, I need some cash. We said, well, how much cash do you need, Grandpa? I'm just going to sell these 3 properties right now. I don't care. I need cash. So, okay, well, you don't have to. You can just do this or that. Nah, I just take some cash. Grandpa sold 3. Now he's got 100 stacks in the bank. A little less than 100. And we were talking to him. And in that moment, I was kind of laughing because I was like, isn't that empowering? That even though these crappy rentals, which I told you the location, you go, ooh, that part of Chicago. Yeah, that part of Chicago. He sold them. He still had cash in the bank. And honestly, if he didn't want to sell them, he wouldn't. We've had these conversations with him over and over. And he's like many of the business owners I've met now that I'm like removed from family and can kind of be out here in Texas. They can hold. They will limp for years. I'm meeting these business owners and they will limp for years. They will rather stubbornly hold and could care less. Could care less. Like, okay, you came and offered me some low-ball offer. That's insulting. I'll just hold it. Now, many people say, well, nah, they need money. Everybody's holes burning their pockets. Listen to me. There's levels to this. Yes, the Airbnb market is saturated and these people are flipping it over to a rental and doing this stuff. I've started to see people on Airbnb now do a monthly rental. Now, what's a monthly rental? Someone who doesn't want to get on lease, maybe they're in between buying a house, maybe they're staying in America for a while. They just book the whole house for a month. It happens. There's also people who are now being consolidated into companies. Now you can look this up. This is a company in Austin called Walker Luxury Rentals. Again, that's WALKER, Walker Luxury Rentals. And there's actually 4 or 5 other companies. One's called The Lux. It's like the LUX or LAUS. They have 16 to 20 different apartment Airbnbs that the city of Austin is like, city of Austin's fighting. But again, companies will come in out of these independent Airbnb owners and consolidate, because those apartments, even though they have, the one I'm talking about has like close to 50% occupancy, they're not renting them for lower. They don't have to. Now they'll play the game of giving you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of free rent if they have to, with a bigger deposit, but they don't have to. And again, just like the banks have 750,000 homes sitting in multiple states that they rather burn to the ground than sell for less, that's the same thing that's happening here. And I get it. People are like, man, the fire sale. Again, you could buy a trailer for $2,000, but you're gonna have to put $10K into it. I could buy a truck for $10K and I might have to put $10K into it. I could buy a house in Detroit for $10,000. Guess what? Now I'm going to put 30, 40, 50K into it. There's a cost of materials. There's a cost of doing business. There's a cost of labor. So I get it. Everybody's like, yo, when the house is going to be $150,000 again? Some will. You can go to Houston and find that. You can even go in Dallas and find $150,000 house. You're going to be out there, though. You're going to be USDA loans, though. You're going to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You're going to be out there. And the nature of people is I'd rather be out there in my own home than fighting in the city to get an apartment. So you'll still have huge empty apartments, period. Why do I talk about this? Why do I talk about a lot of this? Is because my family has been very patient and long-term buyers. What they will do is they will buy something 15 grand. They'll buy a little $35,000 house. And let me name the cities, because some of y'all always wonder. Clinton, Hope Mills, Parkton, Robeson County, the whole place, Sampson County, Rayford. What's the other city? It's outside of Wilmington. I forgot the name of it. Dang it. Greenville, South Carolina, Somerville, South Carolina, Rock Hill, South Carolina, and a couple other cities. Monroe, North Carolina, a couple other cities I can think of. And essentially, they'll buy cheap Like when people offer something, when somebody brings them things. Now let me clarify. People usually bring us things. People usually bring us things. Right? Now what does that mean? They bring us things. They know that family will pay for or buy something. They know that family has a reserve, so they'll go talk to them. If you look at how most small towns, small cities, small states, every city, every little small town, every little small state has like 5 to 10 families that buy up everything. You'll see it all the time. They'll have 5 to 10 families that buy up everything. They own all little neighborhoods. Right now, I don't know if you guys saw the channel. Some of you may not saw the video. We're in Houston, Texas, in the 3rd Ward and 5th Ward. There's 4 families. 2 Italian families and 5 families. There's 2 Italian families and 3 Jewish families that own 60% of the properties in 3rd and 5th Ward. Why is that? Why is that? Same 5 families owning all of the 5th Ward, where 99% of the population is Black or Hispanic, but mostly Black. Because that's how people in long-term real estate investing buy. Period. They'll go bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. People who came into the market trying to get a flip, trying to get a quick lick, that's not how real estate works. It just doesn't. Everybody I know that was flipping homes, they still flip homes, just slower. And then they take their other money and do what? Buy rentals, buy other types of things, buy commercial buildings, buy other stuff. Right now, I'm in a brand new commercial building. We're in the office right now. It's brand new. And they're selling it for a number. And I was like, why would I buy that? When I can go down the street and buy the same exact money, same exact floor plan, same exact brick color for $150,000. Why would I pay $250,000? Because it's new? No. And you know, and I know I'm not going to pay that. You know, next year it won't be worth that. So we'll just both wait. Period. Why am I going to pay you for that? Think about it. Do the math. Long-term buyers, long-term real estate investors know what I'm talking about. The Invest Doc, thanks. I mean, there's money in trucking, but there's also a lot of expense in trucking. There's money to be made. Listen, O'Shea did a hilarious video about, I think, a Nigerian businessman who has like a trucking company, and he flew over and bought Kesha Doll, like a $300,000 Bentley truck. There's money in trucking. You're not going to fall out of the sky money, but a good $1,000 to $5,000 a week, depending on how you make it work. And if you get contracts. And part of what I've been teaching everybody, and what I'll teach in my Rise to 20% classes, that's why I've been focusing on government contracting. I have a person on staff. She's not going to be over there. She actually works from home because she's way South Austin. But literally, that's all she'll be doing all week long, is applying for government contracts. Why do I have her applying for 5 to 20 contracts a day? Somebody may say that's overkill, because you want to have your name seen in the marketplace, seen repeatedly in the marketplace. Why? Because it builds familiarity. Why? Because it's like your calling card. All right. Same thing now, where people send me drivers. A lady got over to a truck stop and was like, basically, she's homeless. That's all it is to it. She's basically homeless. And they said, hey, here's Erica's number. You know, maybe she can give you a job. Broke my heart. And I called her and I talked to her, and I realized there's a lot of people in those situations. And who's going to help them get out of it? Business owners. People that know somebody. All right. You ever had to want to get a job and you need, oh man, I know Freddie's up there. Maybe he could ask them if I can get a job. That's real life. That's real life even now. People wanting to get on somewhere, right? People wanting to get in with the money, get in with the business owner. There's still money to be made, and there's still people that are willing to work because they have to. And so what you'll get out of this whole recession, people could call it a depression. At some point they will be able to call it that, is people will still be working. People will still be buying houses. People will still be buying RVs. People will still be doing a lot of stuff. I think I did a video in December and I talked to you guys about the RV market, how we've always kind of dictated, okay, is America doing okay? RV sales. Now, why? Biddy Chan, guess what? You're out of here, buddy. You're out of here. You're blocked from the channel. Have a good life. Because there will always be people who need to work. Point blank period. Now, if you watch this video, it's been an hour. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Not because Benny Chan told me to, but end of the day, there are still people buying land, buying houses, buying real estate, buying trucks, working, hiring people. Now, yes, is unemployment $600 a week, and isn't that exciting? Yeah. Guess what? There's still going to be people taking jobs that pay $400 a week. Eventually, everything runs dry, and they will go back to work because it is a conditional culture conditioning, if that makes sense. There's an honor in work, and there's a book talks about the honor in work, but you guys can go look it up on your own. But again, that's the best of it, what I have for you guys. I'll read some of your quotes, but I'm going to kind of get out of here. I'm just waiting on a phone call in a little bit. This is been the bartender. They get properties before they hit the market. They keep buying. Other properties know them, and they're in it for the long term. Right now, when I tell my class to go look on LoopNet, they go on LoopNet and they're like, these numbers are terrible. I would never buy this. It's not for you to buy. The stuff on LoopNet is gone through. It means the broker had the listing. He called everybody he knew with money. Then he called the second round of people with money. Then he called the third round, and none of those people wanted it. So then he's now on LoopNet. Brian James, you are absolutely right. Augusta, Georgia is booming. There is 2 guys I've been trying to reach out to and see what they have available for me as far as properties in Augusta, Georgia. Why? Because, yeah, I may get it for $20K, and then I still got to put $20K in it, but $40K all out is pretty good, even though you're going to sit around $500, $600, $700 rent for a long time. If you do the math on the guy I was telling you about, he's going to have 10 spots if he just starts it with the first 10. For $500 a month, that's $5,000 a month. I told you guys about the truck place where the guy has 160 trucks parking on a 9-acre lot at $120 a pop. You do the math on that. Again, 160 trucks parking for $120 a month every month. There's also a RV park near Georgetown where the guy has 100 spots at $500 a month. That's $50,000 a month coming into that location. Period. A lot of this is very simple, very slow buying. And as you go out here trying to buy businesses, trying to buy real estate, and trying to do a lot of owner finance, which a lot of people have been trying to do, my key to all of you is do not insult the buyer. Do not insult the business owner. Don't insult the home owner or the business owner. They will. I've seen people let their grandma and grandma's house basically fall to pieces into the ground, then sell it to you after you've been rude to them. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. There you go. It's good money in it. There you go. Again, I know people are saying there's 30 million people out of work. And Erica, listen, appliance boot camp, 70% of people are still working. People keep forgetting that 70% of people are still working. And right now I'm still hiring. Why am I hiring? Because I cannot build company culture remotely. Period. You're going to have to come into work at least 2-3 times a week over there. You can be home for the rest of it to build company culture. Period. People, guess what? People, I bet you've seen appliances that you want to buy from somebody. You can go right now on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There are people selling mattresses for $50. There are people selling old used parts for all kind of crazy things. Because it's funny to me because people, they're thinking of it what they bought it for. What they bought it for, what they put into it is, which trucking lot? There's several of them. One of the trucking lots had 7 acres. Schools are a major appeal. Listen, What schools are really going to be opening? Schools in high income areas. They're going to be very clean. They're going to have PTA moms making sure they got all kind of sanitation going in there and de-cleaning. There's going to be a ton of government contracts for cleaning schools coming up. There's going to be a bunch of contracts for cleaning public transportation coming up. Trust me. Listen, I had a client in her apartment for 25 years. It was downtown Fort Worth, so I can see why she stayed there. I know someone right now who owns downtown housing in a small town in Colorado. And I thought, ugh, what? Then I saw the pictures from one of the ones she converted to an Airbnb over a business. It's like something out of a Hallmark movie. I was like, oh my God, no wonder she makes so much money. It's like something out of a Hallmark movie. You walk down the street, you get coffee, you go to the bakery. Listen, those little towns and those little businesses, yeah, that bakery may struggle, but he'll just bake less bread a day. He'll bake way less stuff a day. But people have gotten into this conditioning of getting out of the house, going to the bakery, get a coffee, get a scone, sit there for a while, communicate with other people. Trust me, a lot of this stuff is going to back up. There you go. Oldie Brokes, always one family in an apartment making crazy noise. Been waiting on this house for 3 years, but it was never put on the market. Been in closer for over 6,000 days. I tried to ask for my realtor info, but couldn't find it. Boom. Boom. This will happen all over the place. They will literally sit on properties. I have the guys that are me over there working on the real estate. They're going to be sending letters. And they're not going to have to be, they don't have to pressure. Send letters every couple of months because there's certain people that have been sitting on homes for 10 years. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell a story. It's not very great. The daughter died in the house. The mother was in the house and had Alzheimer's and walked over there and found her daughter and finally called the police a day later. It's unfortunate, I know. The police come, they move the daughter's body, all that stuff. They put the mom in a home. The estate, because the daughter was the executor over the moms and stuff, it took 4 years to clear all that stuff. 4 years. And in the 4th year, finally, they were able to do what? Completely empty the house. It had already been cleaned, you know, it wasn't smelling like that for 4 years. Completely clean the house, get rid of all her old property, get rid of the mom's property so that what? The old folk home the mom was in would get the Social Security directly to them, which they've been getting for years now. And then they were able to sell the house. 4 years. For 4 years, I know people trying to, hey, y'all gonna sell this house? Y'all gonna sell this house? Y'all gonna sell it? No, nobody's there. There's a lot of reasons why houses are shut down like that. True, I have a lot of deeds. My taxes are less than most people pay for rent for 1 month. That's right. And a lot of people, what happens is they want like cash right now. Chill out. Chill out. There's a lot of things you can invest in for $5,000 to $10,000. Boom. Thank you, Carissa. They came with a number 1,200. I'm telling you, the number 1,200 was like, it's just enough to cover a lot of people. Big money growth. Congratulations on that. There you go, Lanny. That's exactly right. 90 million Americans haven't received it. So what's going to happen? People are going to start going back to work. Nicholas Parks, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I would start my LLC before I did it. Totally up to you, but I would. And there's a great video from a CPA that talks about how to pay yourself as a one-member LLC. If I could find them, I'll put them in the community chat. This is true, classic hip hop storage, but there's just a lot of people who they just don't do well at home. They can't compartmentalize. It's tough to build remote focus. Now there's a thing called screenshot monitor where it actually takes pictures of your screen every 2 minutes, and for some people every 45 seconds. So if you're always on Facebook or goofing off looking at stuff you shouldn't, trust me, this working remote might not be good for you or your family. This is true. Yeah, someone saw what I said about New York. Thank you, Marion. Thank everybody who's been investing in the channel and supporting the channel. I love it. That's right. They made sure they paid that rent, Janelle. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Post that URL. But yeah, you guys can see a lot of this at theclassyclimb.com. You can see a lot of the stories and things on videos at the blog. Let me see what else y'all got in here. That's it. All right. So I'm getting on out of here. Thank you. I'm so glad you found the channel. That's right. It's like Monopoly. It will mess up the analytics. Thank you. That's right. 19,000. There you go. See, here and here, right here. At what return? Man of pursuit. I love y'all, but I want to do a whole video about how people don't understand ROI. People always go, but for I put $5,000 in it. How much? How much? Listen, $5,000 and you get $50 a month, you're winning. 10 grand and you get $20 a month, you're winning. Long-term people don't think about that. Definitely educate yourself on notes and investing. A lot of people want to put $5,000 into something to get like $1,000 back every month. That doesn't happen. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I got to get out of here because I'm going to be backed up with phone calls and I know it. So you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you didn't hear the first part of this, definitely read the first, just listen to the first 2 minutes of what I said on this video. Just go back when it's closed, listen to the first 2 minutes of what I said in this video. I have no reason to make this up. Okay. Author Smartphone Millionaire book, Classy Climb blog planner. You can get both of those at Amazon. I hope you guys have a blessed Friday. Later. Boom. Boom. Exactly.